Hey, my Liptons. I wanted to come in here and talk about politics real quick because, listen, I personally feel like, okay, I'm from New York City, whatever. I voted for Zohran Mamdani. Um, did I vote for him blindly? Did I think that like he was going to, just be like the immaculate socialist that's just gonna do such amazing things? No, of course I knew that he was gonna make concessions with the establishment Democrat. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is why like I kind of came out of the whole like two party system duopoly kind of mindset. Now I just vote in individuals who I believe align with my own ideology. And for the most part, I would say Zohran Mamdani's like he's more moderate to me personally when it comes to like the whole socialism thing. But I preferred him over the other candidates because the other candidates were abysmal. Andrew Cuomo, Eric Adams, Curtis Stewart, they were abysmal. They were abysmal. And I understand being born and raised in New York City, the price it's absolutely horrific in New York City. Point blank period. Like family members keep telling me like it's awful. So I will say this, I don't regret voting for Zoran, but that doesn't mean that I don't get to hold his feet to the fire when he does some dumb shit. Because this was some dumb shit. And in a way, okay, to play devil's advocate, I can see why he did it. But at the same time, it was still stupid. It was still stupid. Because shout out to Hassan Pike. Oh my God. Shout out to Hassan Piker. This is what he wrote. He says here, Hassan Piker disagrees with Zohran Mamdani's decision to endorse kathyhochul. There is no guarantee that kathyhochul is going to turn around and do anything for Zohran once she secures power. While Hochul has signed off on universal pre-K, there's still a lot more in Zohran's agenda she has to sign off on, especially a wealth tax. Let's keep that in mind. The wealth tax, which kathyhochul has said time and time again, she does not want to tax millionaires. She doesn't want to tax these fucking millionaires and billionaire companies in New York City, in New York State overall. If Zohran waits in this moment, he could take advantage of Delgado putting pressure on Hochul to assume more left-wing positions. Doing this amidst a massive strike with 15,000 nurses in New York City at a time when Hochul is extending the emergency not to give into their demands is unimaginably bad. Shout out to Hassan Piker. He kind of summarized everything that I had in mind yesterday. And this was a stupid decision. And listen, there's going to be maybe a few supporters of Zohran that say, oh, maybe, he has a deal with kathyhochul because, she has the power to kind of like shut down his agenda. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, girl, like you're going to have to communicate that with us. You can't just be talking about that behind the scenes. You're going to have to be over here saying, hey, this is a deal I made with kathyhochul. She says that if I endorse her, she's gonna, yes, right, she's gonna do free buses and 5 free grocery stores in each borough. I don't know, because that's a part of Zoran's agenda: the free bus, the 5 grocery stores in each borough, the wealth tax. But here's my thing, though: kathyhochul has come out time and time recently. We're not even talking about the past. Recently, she says that she's not going to tax the billionaires or the millionaire corporations in New York because she's an establishment Democrat. She depends on her daughters, who are the millionaires and billionaires. So I'm like, Zohran, you claim to be from the left wing. You claim to be from the progressive side, the DSA side. Why the fuck are you endorsing an establishment candidate? And I get it. Yes, it's in this situation, it is a I scratch your back, you scratch mine, because kathyhochul did endorse Zohran when Zohran was running for mayor, after he won the primaries and during, when it was time for the general election for the mayor. So yes, I get it. But at the end of the day, we're not going to sit here and act as if When Kathy Hochul endorsed Zohran, she also did a whole speech about how she disagrees with him here, but I'm still going to endorse him, but I still disagree with him here. Like, come on, y'all. She did that for strategic purposes so that the left-wing base vote, especially in New York City, votes for her in the gubernatorial election. And guess what? It's not going to work. It's not going to work because I ain't no goddamn sheep. We are not sheep. Okay, just because Zohran says so doesn't mean I'm going to be full. I agree with him where I agree with him on, but in this situation, he's dead wrong. So again, my question is, why the hell didn't you endorse Antonio Delgado for governor and India Walton for lieutenant governor? They're the ones that align with your policies the most. Look at this. This is Antonio Delgado's policy-wise. Child care for all. All the same things that Zohran agrees with. ICE out of New York City, taxing the rich. Or especially, that's a big one. Because there's a whole $12 billion deficit in New York due to Eric Adams. And Zohran has said it time and time again, like, we need to tax these bitch-ass, greedy-ass, annoying-ass, just zombie, inhumane, ghoulish-ass millionaires and billionaires in order for us to get out of this freaking deficit brought on to us by Eric Adams. So, taxing the rich, affordable housing, universal health care, cheap and clean energy. Last time I checked, all of these are Zohran's agendas as well. Why the hell are you doing an I scratch your back, you scratch mine agenda with Kathy Hochul when she doesn't support 99% of your agenda? And I don't give a damn if she supported you. Fuck that. She supported you for her own strategic purposes to... And let's be very clear here. And this is the part where I want Zohran to... And maybe he does recognize it. I don't know. At the end of the day, Chuck Schumer did not endorse Zohran Mamdani when he was running for mayor. And guess what? He still won. If Kathy Hochul didn't endorse him when he was mayor, guess what? He would have still won. Kathy Hochul didn't add anything to Zohran's campaign or when he was running for election. She didn't add anything. Who are Kathy Hochul supporters? The donors? The establishment? I can't step out of my house and talk to anybody that's a fan of Kathy Hochul. I'm sorry. Or they don't know much about her. That's the thing too. So she hasn't really done much. And on top of that, she also likes to collude with the Republicans to get her centrist-ass, neoliberal-ass agenda in. Fuck neoliberalism. We need to move left. We need to move left. Point blank, period. That is the future. Centrism and neoliberalism is the reason why we're in this mess to begin with. In the country, for decades, we've been doing this neoliberal, neocon bullshit, which is the reason why we are in this mess to begin with. So for Zohran to shit on his DSA values, and then on top of that, let's not even speaking of values, let's talk about it. It says here, I don't see how any of Zohran's programs are possible given Hochul's promise not to raise taxes on the rich. So there goes the last chance of accomplishing his agenda. Okay, let's keep going. 10 days after Hochul extends the executive order to allow hospitals more flexibility in hiring scabs to blunt the leverage of an historic striking nurses, Zohran comes out endorsing her with no caveats. She delivers results for our class enemies. Don't forget this. Again, we're going to keep going. This was a tweet back in 2024 that Zohran did. If Canada someday ever attack Buffalo, I'm sorry, my friends. There will be no Canada the next day. That's a natural reaction. Governor Hochul justifying genocide while laughing. Disgusting. That was Zohran. Zohran is endorsing Kathy Hochul, whom he accused of justifying genocide. Either Zohran doesn't have a moral standard or he's just another opportunist politician. And that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. Okay? So, now, Zohran aside, for now, I think at the end of the day, we are not sheep. New Yorkers are not sheep. Just because people vote, especially in the city, voted for Zohran, whatever, we're not going to just follow any and everything. Like, no. We have our own minds. We can make up our own minds. We are individuals. We can make up our own, what is the best choice for New York, period. Personally, for me, I think that Antonio Delgado as governor, and mind you, Antonio Delgado is the lieutenant governor of Kathyhochul. That's how bad Kathyhochul is as a leader. Your own lieutenant governor is running against you in the gubernatorial election. That's how much of an establishment hack, Zionist hack, that Kathyhochul is. And I'm not going to hold you. I did hear some things about Antonio Delgado when it comes to, Israel. But whatever, that's a whole different conversation. But he ain't as bad as Kathyhochul, that's for sure. Personally, for me, I personally feel like our best bet is Antonio Delgado as governor and India Walton as lieutenant governor. And as y'all guys know, India Walton oh my God, they did her so dirty in Buffalo. They did her so dirty in Buffalo when she was running. This is her moment. I seek vengeance, baby. Like, I need India Walton to definitely become lieutenant governor. Like, she deserves it. She deserves it. Another progressive, another leftist, like, she really ate. And it's unfortunate how Kathyhochul did not endorse her when she was running in Buffalo. I'm not saying this is going to be a long shot. I'm not even going to hold you because this is not New York City. This is the whole state as its entirety. And while I do think that, Kathyhochul has a lot of leverage points, and, she's been there for a while, so it's like she has the donor's hand. But I think that I would say this though, Antonio Delgado does need to get his name out there. Like, they need to do a lot more, personally, for me. Like, him and India Walton, like, y'all need to get y'all names out there. Y'all need to be on social media. Y'all need to be everywhere. And unfortunately, it has to be this way because these establishment Democrats, they're going to outspend you. It is what it is. But it's not impossible to win. Because look, Andrew Cuomo outspent Zohran Mamdani in both the primary and the general election with like, what, $40-something million? Million with an M. And Zohran still won. So this can be done. Like, it's gonna take a lot. But the thing is, they have to be willing to put in that work. They have to put in that. Of course, people like me, some of the, leftist people, independent thinking people, are going to put his name out there. But he has to be able to put in the work to get out there to talk to voters literally across New York State. He needs to, I don't even think, like, he needs to get out. India Walton and the team, they need to organize. Let me tell you something. Especially with Kathyhochul having Zohran stupid ass on his team, and Zohran understands social media. He understands. He has his ears on the streets. Well, clearly not enough, because if he really had his ear on the streets, he wouldn't endorse Kathyhochul. But still, he's a millennial, so it's like he understands, so he can give Kathyhochul some points on what to do. You feel me? So I think that Antonio Delgado and India Walton, they really, really need to be. And the election is coming up in June 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. They need to get out there. Put y'all names out there. Get out. Come outside. Y'all need to be outside. Get the whoever. Go to the Breakfast Club. Go do interviews. Go to right wing podcasts. Go to left wing podcasts. Go to every podcast that you see on the internet. Get your name out there. You can win this. If you put as much, unfortunately, he is going to have to work 2 times as hard because he's running against an establishment candidate, Kathyhochul. So he's going to have to work 2 times as hard. Unfortunately, it's a part of this ridiculous bullshit ass game. This is why we need to get money out of politics, but that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, other than that, I'm disappointed in Zohran. I think that this was a horrible decision. And this is the part too where I don't understand. He says here, I'm endorsing Kathyhochul because she's someone willing to engage in honest dialogue. How long are we going to be talking about honest dialogue? There's a certain point. I'm tired of the dialogues. I'm tired of the debates. Give me the results. I'm tired of all this talking. We've been talking for decades now. I'm over it. I want action. You wanted to engage with someone that doesn't even agree with you and your ideology, but someone who does agree with you and your ideology, Antonio Delgado, you don't want to collaborate with him. You don't want to talk to him and actually get some shit done. But you willing to talk to Kathyhochul, who's willing to put roadblocks on your agenda. And then he says here, along with the movement that powered our campaign, it's how we secured a historic agreement on child. Okay, but childcare is not the only thing on your agenda. It's not the only thing on your agenda. She said the main thing that you wanted was a wealth tax. She doesn't want to do a wealth tax. And honestly, it will have to take a miracle at this point. And let me say something about these establishment Democrats. They're stubborn. They're not that. How long? We told Joe Biden. We told Nancy Pelosi. We told Chuck Schumer. We told all these hoes. Tax the rich. Tax the rich. Tax the rich. They all refused. A leopard doesn't change. How you guys say the leopard doesn't change its stripes or whatever the hell you guys want to talk about it? The metaphors and the analogies. Like, she's not going to change. Like, Kathy Hochul has not shown me one thing that she is going to change. So why not test the waters with Antonio Delgado? Because let's be very clear. It wouldn't have to take a Zohran Mamdani to tell Kathy Hochul to raise taxes on the rich. Kathy Hochul has to want that for herself as a leader in order to help her constituents. And guess what? She doesn't want to do it. So what's the point of all this convincing talking and all debates and conversations? F the conversations. I want the results. We don't got time. We're in full fascism right now. We need results. We need action. I don't want to hear no more talking. Either way, y'all, for my New Yorkers, I will definitely say please, please, please check out Antonio Delgado and India Walton. I think that, we should definitely, I don't want to force anybody to vote for whoever, I'm always a person that wants to encourage people to, do their own research, look at the policies that they see in these politicians. And if they believe that those policies align with them, then vote them in. That's what I did. And don't get me wrong, and I know this is supposed to be mostly about, me endorsing Antonio Delgado. I don't regret voting for Zohran. I don't. Okay? I don't regret voting for him. Some of his decisions as of late have been stupid. And I think maybe the reason why I don't regret because of the background that Zohran came from and his dad and and shoot, at this point, I'm about to go for, I remember during Zohran's inaugural speech, he was talking about collectivism. Yeah, I'm about to do some collectivism ass shit on him. I'm about to go find his daddy and report Zohran to his daddy. Be like, Mahmoudji, look what your son is doing. I'm about to find Zohran's dad and report Zohran to his dad so his dad can give him a reading. Because his dad is wise. I will give that. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, Zohran's dad is really, really wise. I actually suggest people to go watch a lot of Zohran's father's videos and his speeches and his conversations. That he's a very wise man. So, anyway, y'all, I personally feel like, to me, I think that Antonio Delgado and India Walton as governor and as lieutenant governor will be the best for New York. But of course, you guys can make your own decisions. But yeah, I think everybody should do your own research and definitely be aware because there are some elections coming up this year. This year's midterm. It's not just the gubernatorial. We have midterms. We have just a lot of elections are coming up this year. So definitely, pay attention, tune in to what's going on, and yeah. But yeah, politics always stresses me out. But anyway, yeah, guys, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 2,000 subscribers. Please like my videos. Please like my videos. Helps with the algorithms. And share my videos if you care. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.